guys, welcome back to my new video. Please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel before I begin this video. We have occasionally wondered what would happen if all mankind suddenly disappeared from the planet. Let's take a look at what may occur today if all males disappeared from the planet. In a world with today's technology and level of development, there is a mad scientist, a woman to be exact. One day, she concludes that men are responsible for all evil in the world and starts to be a bioengineer, a virus, super advanced virus because she is a genius, a virus to solve all the world's problem in her wicked understanding. She succeeds and the virus starts spreading very steadily via air and water and all the other possible methods of infection. Soon after, the entire Earth population is infected, and then in one day the virus activates and all male human dies almost instantly. Females are also infected, but virus doesn't kill them, only cursed to never ever be able to give birth to a male baby. Basically, only women are left on Earth forever. So let us look what would happen 15 seconds after male dies. Tens of millions of cars, buses, lorries, trucks, etc. will crash or get off the road, causing a very high death toll of women, baby girls, and possibly pet animals too. Now, let us look at what would happen after 1 minute. These global disasters, along with immediate death of all men in homes and workplaces, would cause a global historic reaction all over the world. Considering that landlines and mobile phones lines still be operational, there would be a massive overload of communication channels as women all over the world call their loved ones or for emergency help services. Now let us look at what would happen 10 minutes after this. There is a global panic, hysteria and confusion as the extent of loss is realized. A lot of suicides and heart failure deaths are expected as lovers and newlywed brides and young mothers learn their loved ones are dead. Now let us look at what would happen after 30 minutes. A lot of women die in hospitals due to panic, failure of emergency services and ensuing confusion. Now let us look at what would happen after 1 day. With traffic jams all over the world, a lot of women would die due to hunger. Also note that circus animals including lions and tigers would have escaped by now. Zoo animals are getting frustrated and panicking due to hunger, noise and confusion. Mega mammals such as elephants, hippos and rhinos would be testing the strengths of their enclosures by now. Now let us look at what would happen after 2 days. Many power stations and communication channels fail all over the world, leaving the world in darkness and cold. In megacities, most bakeries and stores have been raided by now by hunger, and most supplies have been consumed, leaving a little behind. Wild animals such as elephants, hippos, rhinos, tigers, and lions would have broken out of their fences as the electric fences has failed. The carnivores find a feast in the form of billions of dead men on the streets all over the world, while the herbivores panic and try to flee out of the cities in search of vegetation. Now let us look at what would happen after 5 to 10 days. Exhaustion of food supplies in cities starts to tell on the women, and with communication channels failure, there would be large-scale riots and panics as the survivors try to search for more resources and move out of the cities. By now, the billions of corpses are starting to decay, creating unimaginable stench and fear. Also by this time, security measures in power plants would begin to fail. Now, let us look at what would happen after 10 to 15 days. By now, the stench in the cities would be unbearable. Any woman unlucky enough to be left over in the cities would be almost certainly dead due to lack of food, failure of services including electricity and gas, and the growing unhygienic conditions. Most of the urban survivors would have reached villages and rural settlements by now, and a stable social system would finally start to emerge by now. Now, let us look at what would happen after 1 month. The fallout from nuclear reactors would be spread through rains and winds, affecting hundreds of millions of survivors. Efforts would begin to be made for salvaging stored sperms in sperm banks. It is unknown if those stored sperms would still be viable, considering the lack of maintenance and electric failure. The currency system, which had been working by now, would start to fracture and fall by now. The world would start returning to barter system now. Also, gold, which was so prized before the catastrophe, would begin to lose its charm now, as there are no men to admire the beauty. Now, let us look at what would happen after 6 months. The only good effect of the human male extinction would begin to show now. Wildlife in all areas of the world would start to recover and proliferate. Also, there would only be around 30% or so survivors within the female population. Tech advancement and social structures would have crumbled. Also, the removal of male population might have some long-term implications on the sex drives of women. Readers can imagine the consequences themselves. I would not go in detail of such sensitive issues here. So, let us look at what would happen after 2 years of catastrophe. If there was any success in salvaging the sperms, there is very low probability of it, but the world might have another generation of women. The tech level of the world is nearly that of 100 years ago, except that some remnants of technological age, guns, clothing, shoes, etc. linger on until supplies exhaust. Now, let us look at what would happen after 10 years. Wild carnivores would start becoming a threat now. Tigers, leopards, jaguars, bears, and wolf pack would now be expected to be encountered once in a while. 15 now, let us look at what would happen after 15 years of catastrophe. Old times with men are completely forgotten. Wild animals are greatly feared. The only human settlements are in rural areas. There is no technology of old times left anymore. Parties of women occasionally visit former cities once in a while in search of salvaging useful consumables. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And do let me know in the comment section what do you want to be the next video upon. Thank you so much.